Let's breathe that truth in. So it was Palm Sunday, and family was going to church like they always do, but little Sammy, he's about 5 years old, he was sick that day, so he couldn't go. He had to stay home with the nanny. So they went to church, they had a great time, and they came back, and the father was holding one of the palm fronds from the service. He had them all over the place. And so they walk in, and Sammy sees his dad, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, what's that? What are you holding?" He said, "Well, this is the palm frond. This is what the people waved in the air, and they had them all over the ground when Jesus made his triumphant return." And Sammy said, "Wouldn't you know it? The one Sunday I don't go to church, he shows up." Can you believe that? Crazy, right? We know those palm branches, they represent victory, they represent triumph, and we know that Jesus, we consider him our way shower, right? Jesus told us, "I'm not special." He said, the things that I do, you will do, and even greater, right? Even last week, Reverend Tracey was reading from what Reverend Tom said. Jesus said, all I ever wanted to do was awaken people to the beauty already inside of them, right? The power is within you. The divinity that we celebrate is already within you. That's what we're here to celebrate today. And that's something to celebrate. So I want to share some ways. How do we recognize the divinity that's already in us, and how do we celebrate it? And there's 3 ways we can do that, and I want to share those with you right here. It's examining our experiences. Examining our experiences in life and learning from them. We're going to get into that. Secondly, recognizing our beliefs and being willing to challenge them. We're going to get into that. Yeah. And lastly, understanding our vantage point, our perspective, and being willing to change that. Yeah. So first, examining our experiences. That first quote, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Think about that. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. What does it mean? We got to learn from our experiences. Once we go through something, then we learn something and then we move forward. We can't keep going back. We got to keep moving forward, but we can learn from what we've been through. You understand from what you've been through before. It reminds me of a story I was telling a couple of weeks back, and it was about a master monk and his student, and they were out on the hill overlooking the city, and the master was there, and the student was there, and he said, "Master, what's the secret to wisdom?" And the master said, "The secret to wisdom is good judgment." Sounds right? So the student said, "Okay, master, how do you get good judgment?" And the master said, "Experience." Okay. So the student said, "Well, how do you get experience?" And the master paused for a minute, and he looked at him very sternly, and he said, "Bad judgment." When we make mistakes, we learn from them, right? That's what it is. That's how you gain. Am I telling the truth? Can I get an amen? All right, okay. I'm not about myself, right? I know I've learned from my mistakes, right? We make them. We make mistakes. We're human. We miss the mark. That's okay. It happens. But that's how we learn. You know, and I love the fact that Jesus chose to ride in on a donkey. We can learn a lot from animals. Yeah. We can, can't we? They're very smart, right? And it reminds me of this story. There's a farmer, he has this donkey. The donkey's old. Okay, he's not working anymore. He's still got the farm, and he's got this old well. And one day, the donkey accidentally falls into the well. So the farmer is sitting there, and he's thinking about all the work it would take to get the donkey back out of the well. So he decides he's not going to do it. He said, "You know what? I'm going to just let it go. I'm going to bury him in there." I know. So he grabs his shovel. He gets the dirt. He throws it down into the well. But something miraculous happened when he put it down in there. It landed on the donkey's back, And the donkey shook it off and stepped on top of the pile. So he grabbed some more dirt and he threw it in there. And the donkey shook it off and stepped on top of the pile. You need a Palm Harbor, help me out. He put some more dirt in there, and what did the donkey do? And I think y'all got it. So he grabbed some more dirt and he put it on there, and what did the donkey do? And he stepped on top of the pile. I think y'all got it. He put some more dirt in there, and the donkey did what? And stepped on top of the pile. And wouldn't you know, about an hour later, that pile was all the way up to the top of that well, and the donkey just walked right on up out of that well. We can learn from our experiences. I'm telling you, we can, and we can learn from a donkey. We can learn from all our animals. We can. And this is the key. This is the key. We've got to be able to learn from our experiences. We got to learn how to shake things off. Right? People are going to talk bad about you. People are going to, on social media and in life and gossip, they're going to throw dirt on your name. Are they not? It's going to happen. But you can learn from that. It's an experience. You just got to be able to shake it off and move on. You got to be able to do that. No matter what it is, you got to be able to do that. So how? I say this all the time. In life, and I'll share this with you guys as well. In life, you're either in a crisis, you just got out of a crisis, or you about to go into a crisis. So look around the room and think about it for a second. I know everybody's thinking right now, which one am I in? I'm just saying. Now, crisis doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever. I'm just saying, something's going to happen. It's how you deal with it, how you learn from that experience. That is the key. I know you're thinking, am I in a crisis right now? No, I just got out of one. I know you're thinking that. I know you are. I just got out of one. I'm okay. I got a little time. There might be time in between them. It's okay. But yes, so you got to learn from your experience. So how do you do that? I'm going to ask you this. There's a question you can ask yourself to learn from your experiences. And this is it. What can I learn from this? Anytime you're going through something, some experience that's tough for you, or good for you for that matter, either way, what can I learn from it? We learn a lot more from our mistakes than the good stuff, though. What can I learn from this? Now, here's the question you do not ask yourself ever. Why is this happening? That is a powerless question. Never ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Because that's powerless. That takes the power away from you, and it's out there somewhere. Someone's doing something to me. Do not ask yourself why it's happening. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What you do when you do that is you're taking the power back. You're going back to that divinity within you. Yeah. Ask yourself, what can I learn? If you do that, you're going to be celebrating the divinity within you, and you'll be able to deal with your experiences better. Second thing we got to do is this. We have to recognize our beliefs. I love this second quote here. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. I'm going to say that one again. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. Do you believe that? So the question is, what do you believe? What do you believe? What do you believe about the world? What do you believe about yourself? Me and my mom, sometimes we have this conversation. She's old school, okay? So we'll have a conversation about something on TV, and she'll say, oh, we're in our last days, and I'm Unity. I'll say, well, we could be in our best days. It's up to us. It's up to us. We go back and forth all the time. It's good. It's good. Yeah. What do you believe? So ask yourself that question all the time. Beliefs are so powerful. They're given to us sometimes as early as 5 or 6 years old. And we go through our whole lives. We're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and we never question if it's true. We never question them at all. But we've got to be able to, if you want to celebrate the divinity within you, you've got to question, what is it I believe? What is it do I believe? In everything in life, right? I teach this thing called the sequence of change. And I'm going to share it with you right here. But I'm going to show you how powerful beliefs are. Your beliefs control your thoughts. Your thoughts control your emotions. Your emotions control your actions. And your actions control how you experience everything in the world. Because when you do something, there's a reaction to it. Think about how powerful that is. What you believe controls your entire makeup of the world on every subject in what you believe in him. It's so, so powerful. Right? So we have to be careful on what we believe and be willing to challenge our beliefs. If you want to celebrate the divinity that lives within you, be willing to challenge what you believe. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever believed something really, really strongly and then found out you were totally wrong? Anyone? And it doesn't have to be this major thing, right? I'll share a story with you. But it reminds you of how powerful your beliefs are. So I had this Discover card, right? And I had several cards, but this was one of them. Anybody have Discover? Maybe you have the same thing. When my Discover card, it would send me a message immediately every time I bought something. But my other cards didn't do that. And when I mean immediately, I mean like take it out of the machine and I get a text message. Okay? To me, that was the dumbest thing ever. I was like, I don't need to know that I'm buying gas like right now. I don't need it. That's silly. And my belief, what it was silly, my thoughts about it, why are they doing this? My emotions, I started to get angry every time I got a text message while I'm standing at the register still. So my action was, I'm going to call those people. Because I don't know how to delete this. I'm going to tell them to take it off my app or whatever. But before I called them, I'm sitting at home one day, and guess what I got? What did I get? You can say, wait, what? A text message. You're right. Yeah. I'm home, and I got a text message, and it said I just bought $75 worth of roofing equipment, and I live in an apartment. Then the light went off. That's why they sent me a text message. That's why. I'm like, oh, I was on the phone with Discover within minutes. It's no problem, sir. We started the investigation. We wiped it off. We'll call you if you need anything. My belief was so wrong about why they did it, and it just shocked me. So we have to understand, what do I believe, and why do I believe it? So that's the question that you got to ask yourself. If you want to find out how to celebrate your beliefs, celebrate the divinity within you, ask yourself this question. Why do I believe what I believe? That is the most powerful question you could ever ask yourself. And you got to ask it all the time, continuously. Why do I believe this? Is it because someone told me it? Is it because I read it somewhere? Why do I believe what I believe? If you want to celebrate the divinity within you, ask yourself that question continually. Continually. And you continue to grow when you do that. It's powerful. Third thing we got to do. Want to celebrate your divinity? This last one, this third quote is this. We got to understand our vantage point. And Neil Armstrong, I love this. When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. I love this. In my book, I have an illustration of two people, and they're standing facing this way. One person is looking down at the ground. He sees a number. He sees a 6. The other person is standing this way. He sees a 9. So I ask you, which one's right? It depends on your vantage point, on your perspective. That's how life is. It's very important that we understand. Wayne Dyer is one of my favorite authors. Yeah, I love Wayne Dyer. Yeah, you probably know, I'm sure you know this quote. You can finish it for me. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Yes, see, I knew you guys, but I knew you would know that. And I love to dive into this because it's so powerful. What is changing? You, right? Did the thing change? Whatever it was, did it change? Never. It never changes. It is exactly what it was. But what changes is how we choose to look at it. And we do this all the time. We do this all the time. Have you ever had something happen that was the worst thing ever? And then 5 years later you say, I'm so glad I went through that. We do it all the time. Yes. Our perspective is so powerful. I was driving my Jeep. This was about 3-4 years ago, and I was at a stoplight, and the light turns green. It's typical traffic, not super busy, but typical traffic. The light turns green. I pause. Then I put my car in gear, and then I go. This is what I do. Well, the lady behind me was not happy with me. She was very upset because I didn't take off fast enough. So she let me know when she pulled around to the side and got us out. She gave me a couple of hand gestures, and she was saying all kind of stuff. I don't know what she was saying, but I knew it wasn't nice. She was so upset with me. But see, that's her vantage point. She must have had somewhere to go, but she doesn't know mine. She doesn't know that 25 years ago, I was sitting at the corner of Fowler and 15th in my little white Nissan something, a little tiny little car. I think it was a little two-seater. And the light turned green. I'm 25 years younger. It turns green, and I popped the clutch, and I'm ready to go. I hit it. But as I hit it, there's a car I see in my peripheral. Now, I know this car should not be coming. My light's green. I know that. But that don't mean that car's not coming. So I slam on my brakes. I'm not even halfway through the intersection. The car comes about 70 miles an hour through the intersection, hits the front of my car, spins me around in a 360, and I land back facing forward. And then I see the cop car that was chasing them come by. Had I been 2 more feet forward, they would have hit me broadside in my passenger side at 70 miles an hour. I don't know what would have happened. So see, I want to go back and tell that lady, you don't understand. You don't see my vantage point. You don't understand. This is why I'm not taking off from a green light right away, because even though that light may be red over there, that doesn't mean someone's not coming. But she doesn't see that. We got 2 vantage points. We got 2 different perspectives. We have to figure out how to see life from other people's perspective. And it's tough to do. But when we choose to live from the divinity that's within us, we can do our best to get there. We can honestly work at seeing life from someone else's vantage point. Not easy to do, but we can do it. We've got to do our best to work at that. I love this. I always say this. Have you ever seen a situation where you saw someone else's situation, maybe on TV or whatever, and you said, I would never do that? You ever seen that? I would never do that. But then you notice that something happens in your life and there's something you said you would never do, and then you have to do it. Yeah. The truth is, we don't know what we would do unless we were truly in that person's situation. And it's hard to do. But if we connect with the divinity within us and truly see the divinity within others, then we can do our best to see life and put ourselves in other people's shoes. And when we do that, we can change our world, right? We can change our world. So do your best to change the way that you're looking at another person's situation. Put yourself literally in their shoes and say, what if I was going through that? What if my daughter or my son was going through that? Would I do something different? Yeah. Would I do the thing that they're doing? Maybe. Yeah. Put yourself in their shoes. It's a powerful thing. So if you want to connect with the divinity inside of you, do these 3 things. Examine your experiences and be willing to learn from your experiences. Recognize your beliefs and be willing to challenge your beliefs. And understand your vantage point. Be willing to change that perspective and put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you do that, you'll be celebrating the divinity within yourself. And just like they waved those palm fronds and it said, Hosanna in the highest when Jesus made his return, you can celebrate each and every day the divinity that lives within you. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. Remember, the time is always now. Thank you.